If we don't control our mind becomes our deadly enemy. So if we control our mind becomes friend. If we don't control our mind becomes enemy, and our own mind will destroy us. So that is the point. So that is why controlling mind is very, very important. Now we are going to the third part of the discussion, and that is, what is the secret of success? We heard what is success. We heard so many interesting stories about people who achieved success. Now what is the secret? What is the most important thing to get success? And that secret is the strength of the mind, self-discipline, self-control, or mind control. So Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, 6th chapter, 5th verse, he actually narrates a beautiful shloka which explains about the mind. He says, uddhared ātmanātmānaṁ nātmānam avasādayet ātmaiva ātmano bandhur ātmaiva ripur ātmanāḥ. So Krishna is saying here, uddhared ātmanātmānaṁ. So one must deliver himself with the help of his mind. Nātmānam avasādayet, and not degrade himself. So for us to grow or to fall, it is left to us. That is a point here. Then he says, ātmaiva ātmano bandhur. The mind is a good friend for us if we control it, or ātmaiva ripu. Ripu means enemy. Ātmaiva ripur ātmanāḥ. If we don't control our mind becomes our deadly enemy. So if we control our mind becomes friend. If we don't control our mind becomes enemy, and our own mind will destroy us. So that is the point. So that is why controlling mind is very, very important. So how to control mind? Yes, we have to control our mind, but how to control mind? So I give few tips to control the mind. So the first tip is to understand this formula. I call it as ABCD formula. And what is this ABCD formula? So it is actually acronym. A stands for association. So meaning good association. I always give this famous story about a drop of water. When you take a drop of water and put it on a hot dosa pan or hot dosa tawa, what happens? It evaporates and gets destroyed. So the same drop of water, when you put it on a lotus leaf, do you know what happens? It very elegantly glides down and gets destroyed. So the same drop of water, when it is kept in a conch shell, you know what happens? It becomes pearl, moti, most valuable gem. So the point is, the drop of water is same, but with the association of hot dosa pan, it evaporated. With the association of lotus leaf, it just fell down. But with the association of conch shell, it became pearl. So in our life also, with whom are we associating makes a big difference. I'll give you another example, another story from Ramayana. In Ramayana, we see there is Kaikeyi. Who is Kaikeyi? Mother of Bharat. She was a Maharani of Ayodhya, the queen of Ayodhya. And Dasharath had 3 wives, and Dasharath liked Kaikeyi the most. Meaning Kaikeyi is the most prominent queen of Ayodhya. But whom did she associate with? Manthara. A Manthara who was a crooked lady. She associated with that lady. On the other hand, on the other side in Lanka, we see there was Vibhishan. And Vibhishan was the youngest brother of Ravan. Because Vibhishan never went in the path of adharma, Ravan and his team never liked Vibhishan. So the entire Lanka was treating Vibhishan as a insignificant servant in Lanka. But Vibhishan associated with Lord Ram. Now I gave you two contrast examples. One in Ayodhya, Kaikeyi, who was a queen of Ayodhya, associated with Manthara, who was crooked lady, and became, from queen of Ayodhya, she became the enemy of Ayodhya. On the other hand, we see Vibhishan, who was treated like a servant of Lanka, after associating with Lord Ram, he became the king of Lanka. So with this, we learn with whom we associate, our heart and our life also changes accordingly. So we need to be very, very careful about our association, Sangha. So B stands for books or wisdom literature. Do you know who is an intelligent person? Most of the people think intelligent person means one who always gets top rank in the school or college. No. So in school, college, we call a particular boy or a girl as very intelligent because they get first rank. What exactly then intelligence mean? So intelligence has three faculties. So the first faculty of intelligence is to take information, to process the information and to repeat it or to reproduce it. So I call it as KPU, knowledge processing unit. So the first thing what intelligence does is this, that is gather information, process the information and reproduce it whenever it is required. This is the first faculty of intelligence. The second faculty of intelligence is discrimination. Discrimination between right and wrong. To discriminate what is right and what is wrong, one should have wisdom, and that comes by reading books. And the third most important aspect of intelligence is determination. So first of all, a person should know what is right and what is wrong, and to do the right thing one needs determination. That is also a faculty of intelligence. Now I'll come back to the question, who is an intelligent person? So if a person is scoring good marks in their school and college, he can remember well. That means only the first part of his intelligence, the first faculty of intelligence is working very nicely. That is KPU, knowledge processing unit, is working very nicely. But what about discrimination and determination? May not be. That is why I give the example, WHO, World Health Organization, they passed a comment to all the doctors. What was the comment? They said, doctors, please stop smoking. Are you shocked? Yes, WHO did this. Why? Because most of the doctors, even I have seen personally, the cardiologists who should tell their patients that you should not smoke, after the operation, they go out and they smoke. So that is the unfortunate part of it. So here, to become a doctor means one should be really intelligent. That means his KPU is very big. But what about determination? Because they don't have determination, even discrimination, they know smoking cigarette is injurious to health. But still, why they smoke? Because they don't have determination. That means the third part, which is the most important part of intelligence, is not working. So that means intelligence or intelligent, who is an intelligent person? Not just who scores good marks, but intelligent person is he who knows what is right and what is wrong and who has determination to do only the right thing. That is intelligence. And that intelligence we can get only when we read wisdom literatures. Otherwise, how? Otherwise, how do we get knowledge to understand what is right and what is wrong? That is the point. Now C stands for chanting or meditation or chanting the holy names of God. If you see any religion, whether it is Islam or Christianity or Hindu, even in Hindu there are Jains, Sikh and so many different varieties of religions. Every religion promote the chanting of the holy names of God. So what happens when we chant? So this mantra, the meaning of mantra, do you know what it is? Mantra means manas trayate iti mantra, meaning the purification of mind. So the mantra, when we chant mantra, the holy name of God, it purifies us. Let me give you a simple analogy. I am just walking on the road, my dress, I fall on a ditch, my dress gets dirty. How do I clean? So I put the dirty cloth in the water, put some soap powder, brush it and clean it. And if my body gets dirty, I take bath, put soap and clean it. What if my mind gets dirty? Which soap or which soap powder should I use to purify my mind? And to purify our mind, we should use a subtle soap, and that I call it as mantra, the holy name of God. So when we chant every day, meditate every day, which helps us to purify our mind. So that is why chanting mantras are very, very important. So next is about D, and D stands for diet. What is a diet? Diet means sattvik ahār. So in English they say, you are what you eat. So meaning, what we eat is very, very important. If we eat sattvik ahār, our consciousness also becomes sattvik, in mode of goodness. If we eat rajasik ahār, our consciousness also becomes rajasic. If we eat tamasik ahār, our consciousness also becomes tamasic. So Bhagavad Gita explains very beautifully about what kind of ahār we should eat. Now I have a question to all of you. All of us eat every day, right? 3 times, 4 times, 5 times sometimes. So what do we get when we eat? Have you ever thought about it? We are just only concerned about eating and varieties of items to eat. What happens when we eat is the question. Would you like to know? So Krishna explains in the Bhagavad Gita. What happens when we eat? He says, āyuḥ-sattva-balārogya, sukha-prīti-vivardhanāḥ, rasyāḥ, snigdhāḥ, sthirā, hṛdyā, āhārāḥ, sāttvika-priyāḥ. He says when we eat sattvic ahār, you know what happens? We get so many things. So whenever I ask people, what do we get when we eat? They say energy. That's all. So Krishna describes, we get so many things. What are they? Āyuḥ, the life itself comes because of eating good food. āyuḥ-sattva-balā, we get strength by eating food. Ārogya, meaning good health. We get good health only when we eat good food. āyuḥ-sattva-balā-arogya, sukha, happiness. Happiness also comes by eating. Prīti-vivardhanāḥ, and love. The concept of love also comes when we eat sattvik ahār. Sukha-prīti-vivardhanāḥ, rasyāḥ, snigdhāḥ, sthirā, hṛdyā, āhārāḥ, sāttvika-priyāḥ. So when we eat sattvik ahār, we get all these things. So that's why it is very important to eat good food, not junk food. That is a point. So now what is a mental dialogue? So in the mental dialogue, if you see, if mind is stronger, mind wins and we succumb to bad habits. But if intelligence is stronger, so then you can resist the temptations given by the mind. So to make intelligence strong, we have to read and hear about Vedic scriptures. So next question comes, how to say no to bad habits? Because all of us struggling to say no to bad habits. So I'll give you some interesting point here. Successful people, they take responsibilities. Failures, they just give excuses. Now let me give you a formula. I call it as triple S formula. So I'll conclude with this formula. So what does triple S stands for? So the first S stands for starve bad habits. Whenever we have bad habits, there is a temptation from inside. Do this, take a cigarette, take a drink, do this, do that. But what we should do, we should starve. Generally what people think, this is the last cigarette of my life. And that last cigarette will continue many times. So we should be ready to say no immediately or starve it. Don't feed it. That is the point. And the second S stands for supplement with good habits. Saying always no to bad habits becomes very difficult, but saying yes to good habits becomes easy. So rather than wasting our time in saying no, no, no to bad habits, start saying yes, yes, yes to good habits. Meaning we have to supplement so many good things in our life so that we forget to do bad things. And the last S stands for stay away from tempting environment and tempting association. The problem comes, we get into bad habits. One of the main reason is bad association and bad environment. When we stay away from bad people, 50% of the problem is solved. So this is the point. So by following ABCD formula and by following triple S formula, it becomes very easy to control our mind, and that is the secret of success, and by this we develop willpower. Thank you very much.